Colin had a problem and a microphone to spare. Thomas took it up and so the podcast went to air. For weeks and months they trolled through every single DVD. They've unwrapped all the ones they can and now they're cellulose free. Now they're cellulose free.
Hello dear listener and welcome to Cellulose Free. My name is Colin and with me as always is my fellow film watcher, compadre and son, Thomas.
Hi, hello.
What you been up to?
That's a great question.
It is.
Yeah. Some people who listen to this might know.
We aren't going to have a plug right now, are we?
It might be a bit of a plug. Just a smidge of a plug.
You go right ahead. I'll edit it out.
Let's go to the plug zone. So, some people who listen to this might know, or might not. Those are the two options that I voice act on a pretty irregular basis, honestly. But I am a voice actor for a show called Battle for Dream Island, which is a show where a bunch of objects battle for a prize. And initially that was the aforementioned Dream Island, but in the current season, but one of the current seasons, there's actually two running at the same time. It's confusing.
This is completely making sense.
In one of the two seasons that is currently running, okay, there's a third one that's technically still going, but which hasn't had an episode in one of the three seasons that is currently ongoing.
So this is the season where you haven't died?
Yes.
Or is that even more confusing?
That's even more confusing.
Oh.
Because death
that
is
wasn't canon.
Impermanent in this weird universe.
Right.
In one of the three seasons that are currently ongoing, Battle for Dream Island, The Power of Two, the objects are battling for the power of two, which is a number two that can do things with powers.
Right. Does the number two have a voice?
Yes.
Oh, good.
Yes. In fact, all of these objects have voices, and
good.
I happen to be one of those voices. I voice a tree, which isn't rooted into the ground. It has legs and arms.
Is it a eucalyptus?
It's a non-coniferous evergreen.
Good.
That's
good. That's a very non-committal.
That's all I know about this tree.
Uh-huh.
That it's non-coniferous and it's evergreen.
Right.
So the first episode of this season has finally arrived after some 9 months of waiting, and it's really good. I'm quite happy with how it has turned out. So
I should point out, dear listener, that I only just found out that the latest episode has just dropped. So I shall be hopping onto the YouTubes to listen to it.
So yeah,
watch it because it is a visual thing. It is animated.
Yep.
And it has been going for a number of years.
Yeah, Battle for Dream Island is something like 11, 12 years old now.
Wow.
The original creators have been doing it since they were quite young.
Yep, and
I've been
voicing Tree for
a few years now.
Right. Have you voiced any other inanimate objects? Or animated objects?
Not in Battle for Dream Island.
Right.
In another show I have a handful of voice roles, including one which is an object made entirely out of the word me a bunch of times, and only speaks by saying me. Me,
Good.
me, 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 me. Except higher pitched than that.
Right.
Quite a bit higher pitched than that.
Good.
This is all very fascinating.
It is.
This being a plug, I'm sure there will be a link in the show notes.
No doubt, as long as you provide it.
Yes.
Yes, okay. So when did you actually record this?
This was... Okay, so in a tweet I made, I did say it was an Australian Winter's Day, but it was like May.
Okay.
It's sort of like winter. It's close enough.
Yep.
What have you been up to?
What have I been up to? I've got to think about that. What have I been up to? Nothing much at all, really. It's been sort of a bit in the doldrums. I'm becalmed, except not calm. Yes, however, I am going out later on in the week to accompany someone who's photographing churches all around Tasmania. We're not going all around Tasmania later on this week. We're just focusing on some places around Hobart. So
Making your way down the Derwent.
well, yes, indeed. For our dear listeners in the UK, that is the Derwent in Tasmania, not the Derwent in the UK.
Yes.
So.
I have been doing other things, but that's a story for later.
Excellent. I am intrigued, Ed. However, we shall move on.
Mm-hmm.
We have a film to watch.
We do.
Now, last week, there was a bit of deja vuing happening. This week, there will be some deja vuing happening again, but for different reasons. What are we watching today?
We are watching Ferris Bueller's Day Off.
We are. And the copy of said movie has been sitting on the shelf for years, unloved, watched, but still under wraps. I have certainly seen it before, but as I think I mentioned in last week's episode, I think I have only seen it possibly once, and that was very soon after it came out on VHS.
And I've seen it once on a streaming service, despite us having a copy on DVD on the shelf.
Hence, it still remains wrapped. Yes. So Thomas, you can either unwrap it now, or
that would be weird, wouldn't it?
It would, or you can read the plot synopsis off the back of it.
I'm just going to read the plot synopsis. Okay. I think.
Okay.
No need to reintroduce elements. Bueller? Sorry, not here. Instead, high schooler Ferris Bueller, his girlfriend Sloane, and his best bud Cameron are off on the spontaneous romp through Chicago known as Ferris Bueller's Day Off. And something about bonus features. So buff up a lung, forge a sick note from the parents, and tag along on the funniest adventure to ever sweep through the Windy City. What are you still doing here? Save Ferris.
Such a brilliant write-up synopsis there. Yeah, that's what we're watching. So we're going to pop it into the machine, and it'll be interesting to see whether this may well be on the block as far as deciding whether it actually stays on the shelf, even though we don't do that anymore. Except we will. We're going to watch it, and we'll catch you on the flip side.
Turn to side B.
And I don't say mongrel anymore.
No, you just did.
Mongrel.
You mongrelling yourself or me there?
Mongrel. it is true that is exactly how my teenage years were growing up in the 80s. It was spot on. I mean, it was basically year for year. I was that age at the time that this came out. So, what did you think?
That was good.
It really is. And it hasn't aged at all. That's the bizarre thing about it. I've got a lot of things swirling around in my mind, and it has been absolute years. There were constantly things that were sort of springing up and going, oh, that's right, all the way through it. But I had completely forgotten the parallels between it and Home Alone. Did you get that vibe as well? The feel of Home Alone, the movie, and there were very definite shots that the dog flap and looking through the dog flap and things like that. I mean, John Hughes directed this and wrote Home Alone, he only directed 8 movies, but he wrote so many more, and if the material works, and I guess short memories, throw in the mix again and stir it up, and it's a gem of a film.
It is,
and it's got heart as well. Still, the whole scene, the whole storyline with Cameron. I had really forgotten. My memory had him as very much a secondary character, but the whole his whole storyline was just brilliant, and it just added that much more heart to the film, especially his last scenes. It's just great.
Yeah.
Do you have anything?
No, it's just a very good film. It's, I don't know what else there is to say about it. It's just very good. The end credits sequence, certainly one of the first times that I recall that kind of thing happening. The only other time around that era, or before that era, that springs to mind was it the Muppet movie, or one of the sequels where Animal says go home at the end of it. I think it might even have been the Muppet movie. Looks like possibly, the Muppet movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right at the very end. But my recollection also of that movie is that there's a whole heap of things happening in the closing credits that kept most of the audience there anyway, just to watch.
The Muppet Wiki, because there is a Muppet Wiki,
there is.
Of course. During the credits, the Muppets talk in the theatre after the screening of the movie while an instrumental track plays. And then, after the credits, Animal breaks the fourth wall and tells the audience to go home.
Yeah. And the whole breaking of the fourth wall in Ferris Bueller's Day Off, just brilliant again. Certainly the first experience that I recall ever having of that happening so prolifically. It's well and truly been duplicated since, and but I'm not going to say that that's first. I have no idea.
I've thought of something.
Yes, good.
Let's talk about pacing awkward. How do you pace awkward well? I think this film paces awkward well.
It does. It does. I mean, there are various different ways of doing it, but I think the way that this does it is that it holds it long enough that you yourself start feeling awkward yourself, but just long enough for that.
Mm-hmm.
So,
and then we move on to something better.
Yeah. But it was interesting. Just as an aside, my second eldest son actually sat in and watched this, and then my eldest daughter sort of wandered in and said, "Oh, I love this film." And she's 17, again, at the age of these characters, and I had no idea that she'd seen it. And she sat herself down and watched it as well. And it was interesting watching my second eldest son when they had the big musical number, and his incredulity sort of rose. And I'm thinking, after all that has happened so far, he has a problem with this dance sequence suddenly springing up in it. Yeah. It is very, very firmly planted in the 80s, and yet it does have a timeless the sensitivity to it.
Charlie Sheen is in this movie?
Yes, indeed.
Which I hadn't realised the first go round, I don't think. But it's definitely Charlie Sheen.
It is. And again, another character that I had forgotten about. And initially, when that scene started with Charlie Sheen, I'm thinking, this is slowing down the storyline. But no, again, very important. Just little vignettes. I keep on getting stumbled with this word.
Without that sequence, we don't get the payoff with Jenny, because she has no motivation to bail Ferris out.
And again, racing, the races through backyards. How many times has that been done since? Again, I'm not saying that this was the first time that they've done it, but
just so many threads in that chase sequence.
Yeah. They're done so well.
Yeah.
A word to those who may be interested in picking it up. I'm sure it's still on a streaming service.
Here in Australia, it's currently Foxtel that's got it.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Again, that's where my eldest daughter watched it for the first time on a streaming service. We don't have Foxtel, so it's since shuffled to another. Yeah. So I'm glad that I have a copy of it.
Yeah.
Because it's certainly staying on the shelf. It has possibly become politically incorrect in places that, I don't know, certainly certain phrases that wouldn't maintain a PG rating that it got when it first came out. I suspect it would be planted in the M rating, I think. But, yeah.
Dunno.
Whatever. It was good to unwrap that and experience. If this was a visual medium, you would see that I've just got this grin on my face, and because it's just a delight.
It is.
It really is. Yeah. Hey, if you've got nothing else to say, let's move on.
The following segment has no title. We apologise for the inconvenience.
I don't know what we're moving on to.
Yeah, have we worked out what this segment is yet?
No.
No, you haven't come up with a replacement for...
No, still haven't. Right. Have you?
No.
Okay.
I've sort of been busy with other things.
Okay, well, let's put a pin in it then.
Yeah.
And let's move on.
Pick a film for next week so we can go to bed. I mean, I was sort of going to talk about the interaction with Lee, but if you don't think that's necessary...
No,
it's not.
No.
Okay.
No. Okay, so let's unpin that.
Yes.
Let's go back to there.
The following segment has no title. We apologise for the inconvenience.
Okay, so yes, we've had some interaction on our one of our many platforms of being able to communicate with us. Lee has communicated with us on Facebook. Whilst on that topic, I should point out that I have just the other day signed up an account with Parler, so you'll be able to contact us there as... What?
Okay.
What?
I thought this joke was a little in poor taste, but it's fine. It's fine. It could be better.
Which joke's that?
The I have signed up for Parler joke.
Oh, that one. Who told that?
You did. it's.
Meanwhile, on Facebook...
Yeah, meanwhile on Facebook...
Lee got in contact with us and did make we asked in our last episode anyone who's got a suggestion for any movie that has not come up in conversation in our previous podcast that is recommended for us to watch. I think I'm paraphrasing what was discussed last time. Does that cover it?
I don't know.
Good. Excellent. If only you were there when we had that conversation. Okay, so Lee has made a suggestion.
Mm-hmm.
And we're going to put that certainly on our list of when we're... Because, yes, I have seen the film that Lee suggested. Lee suggested Army of Darkness.
Mm-hmm.
And I have seen it. And it does have some history with me. And I think... Yes, Lee, I need to revisit that. I don't think you have seen it.
No, I've not.
Okay. I think we will hold off me sharing that story for when we do visit that film. But yes, it is now on our list of films recommended that we will visit or revisit. So thanks, Lee, for that. And do you have...
No, that's...
Okay, so let's wind forward again.
Pick a film for next week so we can go to bed.
Thomas, I believe it's your turn.
It is my turn.
To shake that stonking great iPad of yours. Except it's an iPad mini, isn't it?
To an extent. We have come to that story I was teasing.
Oh.
Way back at the start of the show.
Oh, that's right. Yes.
So.
Something that he has not discussed with me.
So.
His continual move to take over this show and boot me as podcaster and replace me with probably a tree or something like that.
So.
Yes.
Christmas happened.
It did.
I got some money.
Oh, I see where this is heading.
And then I spent that money...
You did?
Some of it, on some DVDs and Blu-rays. And so now I have these 4 new DVDs and Blu-rays...
Yes.
...sitting on my desk.
Which, the titles of which I am aware of.
Yes.
Yes.
And so I have decided that for my... first 4 proper selections, and it'll get a little hazy, but we'll get to that.
Right.
For my next 4 proper selections,
when it's your turn,
when it's my turn,
you're not going to shake that phone.
I'm probably just going to pull up random.org and select between the 4 of them.
Okay.
In fact, yes.
Hey, random.org. Oh.
Yeah. That service that
Yes.
we've used in the past.
Yes.
Yes,
All
pulling
right.
up the true random number generator.
How about random.org?
Yes, that is the caption. And I'm going to select. Okay.
So he's going to produce a number between, well, including 1 and 4, between 1 and 4. Has he decided which ones are 1, 2, 3, and 4?
I'm just gonna select in the order that I put them into the database.
Okay.
So, number 4.
Yes.
Number 4 is the one that has been selected.
Okay.
Number 4.
Okay, can you read the plot synopsis and I will guess what it is?
This is some format you've cooked up.
It really is.
Go back.
Well,
Okay.
it would work somewhat better if we weren't selecting from just 4 movies and I had a vague idea of what those 4 movies were, but throw it at me. Okay, read the French version and
I'm just gonna say what it is.
Fine. Fine. See, I've been usurped.
This
I
is
have no control over this podcast whatsoever. None. I was going to have an orchestra play the opening theme, but no, it had to be a ukulele, didn't it? That I should point out, Thomas has taught himself how to play.
Can I say the title of the film now?
No.
I'm just going to talk over you now as you continue to attempt to interrupt. This is a Stanley Kubrick classic. This is
2001: A Space Odyssey.
How I Learned to Stop Worrying and Love the Bomb, or Dr. Strangelove.
Excellent. We're going to be experiencing some Peter Sellers. I don't know whether you've experienced Peter Sellers before.
I've experienced a little Peter Sellers.
Right.
Peter Sellers was in the terrible Casino Royale film.
He was indeed. Yes.
Trying not to be in a comedy.
Yes.
I don't think it was really in his hands at that point.
No.
And then Peter Sellers is also in this movie.
He is.
And so is Peter Sellers.
And Peter Sellers is in it.
No,
No.
there's only Peter Sellers, and Peter
hang
Sellers.
Hang on. Can you click on that database?
Mm-hmm.
Click on, or scroll through the database to the cast.
Not even listed. I'll check the
What?
connected movie. There we go. Peter Sellers in 3 roles. 3 roles.
Okay. But it should also show which other films are in the collection
That is a good
stars Peter Sellers, and you'll suddenly have an aha moment.
Well, yes, I did know that Peter Sellers was in the other film
yes,
that
okay.
you're thinking of.
Good.
Yes.
Is that on the list?
That's a good question. It's not.
Oh, should it be?
It probably should.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Let's stick that on both lists. I think we're both reasonably interested.
Yes, I think so. I think that's worthy of a revisit.
So there we go. We've added an episode to our already quite extensive long run time.
Yes.
Good.
Good.
Right.
Anyone who is still listening is going, what on earth is going on? We know.
We do.
We know exactly what's going on.
Well.
We run a tight ship here.
Yeah.
So I don't think we have anything to do other than to start rolling the orchestral closing mute. It's the ukulele again.
Yeah, it's just more ukulele.
Oh dear.
Yeah.
I do like it. I'm very proud of my son and his ukulele playing. Yes. And until next week, where we'll be watching Dr. Strangelove, I'm going to paraphrase and call it Dr. Strangelove. And we'll catch you next time.
Bye. You have been listening to Cellulose Free. Your hosts were Colin, who produces and edits the show, and Thomas, who makes the artwork and music. Cellulose Free is recorded in the Deranged Cat Studios in scenic Tasmania, Australia. We keep track of our extensive physical media collection through My Movies, which we highly recommend. You can find links to that, as well as other places you can find us in the show notes. Cellulose Free is a Hi Hello production. You're still here? It's over.
It's over.
Go home.
Go home.
Go.
And you. So I can see you behind the couch. Go on. Actually, some people listen to this whilst commuting, so I can still see you on the back seat of the bus. Go home.
Go home.
It's over.
Go home.
Nothing else.
Go.